Hey, Chris, what's going on?
Hey, Rowan, how are you? It's nice to hear you.
It's good to hear you too, Chris. So
uh,
yeah, we had some technical difficulties getting ready for everything, but
well,
you know.
obviously, because I was allowed to be in StreamYard for another thing, this StreamYard account was angry and let us know about its anger.
But we
I
sorted it out.
We did. I had fun in your stead. It's never the same without you, but a little bit of was still nice. But that's not where we are right now, are we?
No, no, we are at the Sunday Happy Hour live stream.
Yeah, look at that. There's a banner. That's how you know it's real.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
I felt pretty good about it.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, why don't we go ahead and get started then? I figured I could lead off if you'd like.
I would like that. I do believe it is your turn, and I will.
All right.
Let's see. Do solo layout for you. Hey, I'm learning things, ladies and gentlemen, and people who are not of those genders, which is totally fine. We're all learning in real time.
Mhm.
It's time for Mr. Rowan Corbett.
It's 2 in the morning and I can't sleep. I'm thinking about you, rubbing your feet against mine. See you tomorrow if you've got time. I think you work a little too hard for your own peace of mind. Maybe it's better this way, like summer and fall, inseparable for just a few days before they inevitable, before they inevitable. It's like we're in limbo, balanced on twine. We care enough to draw the conclusion, but not enough to make circles of these lines. But maybe it's better this way, like summer and fall, cautious to the very end. Our faces becoming walls. Maybe it's better this way, like summer, like fall, inseparable for just a few days before the inevitable, before the inevitable.
clap, 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 clap. It's very hard to clap while doing these. I was about to put up a thing, but now it's gone, and here we are. If I go over here, I'm actually in the middle of the screen. That sounded great, man.
Thank you.
Have I heard that song before?
I don't know. It's an older one, and I don't do it all. Yeah. I don't do it as much.
Yeah, you should
coming back to
you
it.
should remedy that and go back to it because I like. And
Right on.
you know, we're all here for my opinion, obviously. Yeah, I like that. How old is that song?
Oh, geez.
Carbon timestamp on that
think
one.
98 or from 98 or 99, somewhere in that range.
I think I have one good song from that range, and everything else is hot garbage. Yeah, sure. It took a while. I was having that thought the other day. Like I'm very happy with my old band's records and a lot of things, but I feel like I only kind of figured out what I'm doing like in the last few years, and I'm like, you know, I'm happy with what I'm doing, but I'm like, Jesus, why did it take so long? And you don't see novelists do that. Like, you know, I put out my first book when I was 45, and it was pretty good, but I had written like 17 books before that. Like, you don't hear that conversation.
Well, you don't hear the conversation, but it's definitely a thing, though, because you know, there's like people like, who am I thinking of? M.K. Jemisin, who's this amazing writer. She's a great world builder. She does all these really cool books, and you know, but she's like, I had to write like years and years of garbage before I got to this point.
Oh, that used to make me so angry. It's kind of like the you need time and you need to write a million bad songs used to make me angry almost as much as the you'll understand when you have kids. Oh. Like, you can't get it until you have kids. I'm like, how do you know? And then I had kids. Oh yeah, that was right. That was true. It turned out there's a reason people say that, because it's true. It's completely true. But but novelists they don't go, you know, I was only X age when I did it, unless there's some wonderkind like, you know, Martin Amis doing the Rachel papers. I think he wrote it in college. And I remember it being, you know, pretty good. Yeah. But you know, his later stuff is better. But you're supposed to get better, right? I mean, that's the idea.
You know, you keep working at it, and that's how it works.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so. Ideally. Although there's a downside to it, and that, before we do that, to you, sir.
Oh, to you as well.
Oh, what are you having?
This is It is a bourbon barrel porter. It's dark, so it's hard to see. What's the brand here? Big Limber. The big. Is it Limber or Lumber? It's hard to tell.
I would guess Big Lumber. Is it
I
Limber?
Think it's Big
really?
Limber. Yeah, Big Limber. It was a gift to me from a friend.
Oh, that's nice.
Mr. Mark Rooney.
Is
Timber.
Nice
it's Big Timber. Sorry.
Oh,
Big,
so we were
that
both
makes
wrong.
more sense, doesn't it?
Yes.
Big Timber bourbon barrel porter. So, so obviously they took a porter and put it in some bourbon barrels and let it sit for a while and get delicious.
Yeah, those tend to go well. Those as soon as they start talking about the bourbon barrels, I'm like, okay, I am paying attention.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to be slow with that one.
Yeah. Those is it one of the more chewy ones? Let me see. Buttons.
Oh yes.
Ooh, buttons. There we go. I like that button.
Button.
That button.
All right. Well, what do you got for us, man?
Well, seeing as we're talking about one, trying to get better as you go along, and two, the inexorable movement of time. Well, I don't think you've heard this one yet.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, I'm going to play it now. I should. I guess it gets to be. It's me.
I was gonna do that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I just saw the button. Oh, but see, you did that. I didn't do that. I had nothing to do with that. Hands where you can see them. Ladies and gentlemen,
Chris Ehrich.
I never feel prettier than when you announce me. There I am. Okay. The 15 that's never coming out. The concerning, ringing, rattly cough. Conversations too complex to follow. Complex complications, all too much to swallow. Staring at the back bar mirror, wondering how it happened this soon. I'm sorry, you're too old for the room. A couple years, too many gray hairs ago, didn't seem so young, but now you know a story no one would ever buy. Don't lean in, no, don't try. It's not exactly a pity, it's on deck, coming soon. Why is that? Too old for the room, too old to stay, too old to play, too old to have anyone see you that way. Just pay the check, get out of the way. So maybe just stick closer to home. There's plenty to distract, you're not alone. At least they tolerate you better there. No smoking what's left of your hair, only the faintest whiff of your impending doom. Don't look back though. Yes, I know, but seriously, too old for the room. Thank you.
Nicely done, sir.
Thanks. It came off better in my head.
Is that new or new to me?
Oh, no, that's new. Like, I finished that Monday and played it Monday night, so...
Oh, nice.
So I may or may not have sent you the demo. I cannot remember. It can be difficult to remember these things.
Nice.
That was yeah. I may or may not have been sitting in a bar a couple of weeks ago wherein those thoughts or some version thereof occurred to me. Like, oh, this is bad, man. That was the weird thing.
I think you related the story to me. Yes.
Yeah. It was just the year and change of not being around people. It was also kind of like one of my kids kind of went from like little kid to not so little kid over the course of the year and kind of missed out on the little kid stuff.
Yeah,
and like, yeah, they do. And and that was like just very much felt like, the cool older friend before. And like this year I'm like, nope, not anymore. Just no. Yeah. No. So you'll save the mood. What do you got, Rowan? Something happy and peppy to play for us?
Oh, absolutely. This is a song about like not wanting to fail as a parent.
There you go. I have roughly a third of my output has been about that lately. Ladies and gentlemen, Rowan Corbett.
This is not ancient Greece. I am no oracle. I'm prone to the many faults and flaws of mankind. And my father, he is no God, he is but flesh and bone. flesh is weak, bones will break, just like courage and resolve. As a boy, I prayed to be just like you. On your art, your honor and your courage, your resolve. This is not ancient Greece, but I see the monster you've become. The Minotaur's shadow on the wall. Your words pursue me through a maze of grip on logic. Disturbed by your lack of faith, confined by your resolve. Just behind me now, and I've got nowhere left to run. You track my every movement. So you won me in my place, and I'll never down you again. Volcano blows, the ash falls down like rain. I still love you, but I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same.
Clappy clap, clap, clappy clap. I don't think I ever heard you say what that song was about before.
Yeah,
it all kind of falls into place because you've told me some things.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that all that's funny. That all clicks into place. I like the song even more now, having the information.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you.
How old is that one, if you don't mind my asking? I won't ask when you wrote each song. I'm just curious.
Yeah, no, that one's actually another older one. I think it was around 2002-ish or so when I wrote that one, and I've been refining it over time. So, but yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it all kinds of. I was thinking for a second, it's like, do I want to get at a parenting song? No, I don't. I stopped playing those. I wrote like a couple of them, and I wept while trying to play them. And I'm like, I'm not gonna do that now. I like Rowan. He doesn't need to watch that.
Well, what
It's
will
like
you play for me, Chris?
I actually, this is another. I threw in some new ones. I'm not sure if you've heard or not.
Okay.
Just because I thought it'd be fun.
Okay.
And obviously I'm wrong, but it could be fun. Did I yet play you the one that was suggested by text exchange with our friend in St. Louis, Brian Ranney?
Yes, I believe you did. Yes.
Okay, well, you're gonna hear it again because it's the one I have
excited
pulled
to hear
up. and I like it too. So I guess you should like the songs you're going to play. So ideally. So I have like a choice of between maybe 4.5 songs right now. 'Cause my songs and I often don't get along. Yeah, like you do. So anything else on your mind, or should I pop
lay it
in?
on me,
If
man.
you had a thought, then on you it shall be laid. It's a bit of a C-plus summer, no matter where you look. If you've got something pulling you down, I've read that book. It's a thing that nobody tells you when you're wondering what to do. When you see everything go flying, a crash is due. Hearts are broken all the time, none more easily than mine. It's a bit of a C-plus summer, one more time. Looking over the perfect stories and wondering about the pain, seeing the perfect sky and praying for rain. They're not doing it to derail you, it's just a side effect. Look, they're up on a boat, and I'm a wreck. Hearts are broken all the time, none more easily than mine. It's a bit of a C-plus summer, one more time. If you were here, it'd be a B- easily. It's always better with you here with me. And I don't know what I'll do if you don't show. If you aren't here for the fall, what's the point of it all? It's a bit of a C-plus summer. I see signs of life outside. It looks kinda nice, but I think I'll hide.
Nice, sir. Nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's not really a clapper. It's not really. Yay!
No,
Woo!
No. I was scrambling to oh, where's the button? So
I'm sorry.
So,
yeah, yeah. Well, we end differently, so I'm like, this is it. It's it ending. Nope, not ending. Don't start talking. Don't break the thing. Don't. No, don't. Have you seen Venom yet?
I have not.
Oh, fun. It's funny because I saw. Have you watched The Suicide Squad yet?
No, I haven't. I haven't seen either one of them, actually.
Out of the two, if you had option one or the other, I'm going to say Venom.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. Suicide Squad, didn't make much sense. And Venom has a line. There is a literal line in the script that I will not say, and a line like just a moment in the movie where they're like, are you on board or not? And Joylene and I barked laughing at the line, and we were on board and on our way. But if you hear that and go, because it got bad reviews, and I'm like, well, you guys shouldn't have watched this movie. You watched the wrong movie, because I didn't love Suicide Squad. It didn't make a whole lot of sense. It had some neat stuff. Polka Dot Man needs his own movie, but otherwise, Polka Dot Man was great. But he's the guy from the Ant-Man movies, the guy with the Russian accent. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Baba Yaga. Yeah, that guy. And he's great. He's so good. So good. Uh-huh. So speaking of so good, what are you going to play for us next?
Oh, well, I was gonna. I'm inspired. I'm gonna do one of my new ones.
Ooh,
I've been writing in this tuning lately.
What tuning is that, by the way?
It's Open C sus2, so it's C G C G C D.
You know, if you don't want to tell me what the tuning is, you could just say so. You don't have to go making things up. I don't know. I don't know what that's about.
It's true. But yeah, and we've been doing a version of this with Ilyemi, and I've been really loving that version.
Oh, cool.
So a little sad that to not have the whole band on it, but I think the idea comes across.
It was. I will say it was really nice watching the full band live stream stuff and getting to hear these songs that I've kind of heard you work on over the course of like the last year and a half. Some of them last year and a half, just in the online stuff. It's like, look, Rowan has legs, and the band plays the song together.
I know, right?
So. I was playing shows when you guys were on your on your tour. I didn't have a weekend like that, but I played like a Thursday show at the art museum, which is great and not great.
Oh, yeah.
And then just various and sundry things that you already know about. And then I played the Sunday show at 5 and 20. I think I sent you like 100 pictures of the place.
Oh, yes.
It's just gorgeous. And and I played it with my buddy Tony Kellogg, and I never play with other people like, yeah, sure, jump up and play, but Tony's got the goods, and he just like
nice.
And he's like, yeah, what general key is it in? And I told him, and he's like, okay, and he started playing. I'm like, 30 seconds in, 30 seconds, I'm playing a song, and I yelled to him, I go, this is so much easier, because I didn't. Because I didn't want to do that, and it was neat to have somebody who could just in, and then I had a band practice that Saturday with the electric band, and that was fun. I sent you some truly horribly recorded demos, but they're very useful for us because the drummer had forgotten the beat for the one thing, and we had it there.
Right,
like,
right.
Look, here it is.
Yeah.
And again, you take your happiness where you are. But I'm sorry, you were going to play a song,
No,
and then
good.
I just blather. That's what I do. But
all right,
I will always make the noise. Ladies and gentlemen, Rowan Corbett.
Unbreak. What if you just said it without the contest of wills? I'll give you my attention as you make your reveal. We've been headed here for years now. Yeah, that much is plain. Now it's finally happening. You're being honest again. When you said what you had to say, now we know where you stand. Oh, why don't we call it a day? between us, where signals are lost, stretching out through a darkness where only silence can cross. Where you said what you had to say, but let me be clear, this is ice that you can't unbreak. Gonna argue, no, I won't complain. Yeah, believe me, I want to, but your point has been made. Well, you said what you had to say, and this feels like an end. You should probably just stay away.
Clappity clap, clap, clap.
Thank you.
Yeah, I do like that one. And you've got the odd time signature thing in the middle. And it's like ding.
Yeah,
ding,
yeah,
ding,
yeah.
ding,
It goes off to 7 for a little bit.
ding, 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 ding.
It's that part is usually longer with the band. They're just like, I'm not gonna just play chords in 7 for.
It's weird to go back to
time.
playing solo again after playing with a band, isn't it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Like I've gotten together with my band. I mean, I don't, you guys have a couple decades of history, especially you and Rob.
Rob
Mine
and
is, yeah. I mean, the bass player, Andy, hi, Andy, if you're out there, it has been a buddy of mine for a few years since I moved up here, but Brennan, our drummer, hi, Brennan, is new to town, but the three of us just, when we got in a room, we just really hit it off. Yeah. But it's like, you heard you heard some stuff. It's like, it's coming together. It's early days, but it's coming together. It's like, and that's nice. And it's weird to have to sing into a microphone with loud drums in your face, but it's not awful. And I like playing electric guitar. So it's weird to come back to this. It's like, this is, like there's it's like a whole different thing. Like you guys kind of, you are acoustic with like electric noises as well. So you can do that. And I'm like, I am not. Like I'm playing electric guitar. So I come back here. It's like, this is a completely different vocabulary. My vocabulary is not nearly as good with this. I'll do what I can.
But it's cool though, as you learn, as you learn to communicate, with a new set of musicians.
That is true. I will say something I really like about it, and this is not to disparage past bandmates, because I'm also disparaging myself, but we were all young then, so everything's very emotional. At least that was my experience. And now, the youngest guy's a drummer. He's 40. We're all grown-ups. We all have kids. We're there because we want to be. It's not like hobbyists like Dennis on the weekends, but it's like, no, this is how we chose to spend this portion of our time. And, we all just get along and, we can, it's like, yeah, I'm not really feeling that. And I could never say that in the past. I couldn't just come out and say it. And it's like, and we ended up with like something better. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have a better idea for that part. That I'm not feeling. It's like, okay, well, let me mess around. I'm like, oh, that's much better than being passive aggressive and not coming out with it, and just not liking the thing at all. which may or may not have happened multiple times in the past. Yeah. So, please go ahead. I may have spoken over you. If
no,
I did.
not at all. But yeah, it is fascinating. Like learning that, learning how to interact with new musicians and like when you find people that you really gel with, there was this time where I was sitting in with this band and, we're setting up and one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, man, I was on the way in and Tom Waits was on the radio." And I was like, "Oh, cool. I love Tom Waits." And then he and the lead singer were like, "Oh yeah, I hate that guy." I was like, "Oh man, I'm in the wrong band."
Do you have their information? Because I could, the non-Tom Waitsian people.
I know you're not a fan.
It's
but
okay.
you got to admit his writing is really good.
Well, first of all, I have to admit nothing, and secondly, obviously his songs are good. What, Old 55, is that the one? Is that his?
That one I'm not familiar with. So,
okay, because I feel like there was one. There was one. Yes, I did own. This is going to be a shock to anyone who knows me, but I did own multiple Sarah McLachlan records because she's dreamy. God damn it! And I loved her band. I remember watching like a live thing back in the day, and she had a guitar player, and he was playing a guitar that looked like mine, and he played something, and she smiled at him, and I'm like, that seems like a good way to live, but. I feel like she covered something of his, and I liked it, and I was a little confused, but I got over it.
Have you heard the album? Oh crap! What's the name of that album? Raising Sand. It's Alison Krauss and.
Oh yeah, and Robert Plant. They're getting ready to do a new one.
Yeah,
they're getting ready to do a new one. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah. I think it's coming out like in the next couple of months.
Oh, cool! I'll have to check that out. But there's a track on there called "Trampled Rose" that they do.
Okay.
Tom Waits song.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
I remember really liking that record, but I can only remember a couple of the songs from it. I really liked it.
It's a good album. It's really good.
It is. I loved what I heard, and for some reason I just never really went back to it. Kind of like Emmylou Harris and Mark Knopfler did a record together.
Ooh, that's
fantastic. And I remember liking it a lot and liking like the first few songs, and I could never get through it. I'm just like, this is great. Click. Let me go back to listening to the Gin Blossoms again.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot of things I go, wow, this is really good. Like I started reading the Chernow Hamilton biography that kind of inspired Miranda to start writing the musical, and I'm like, oh, this is really good, and I was gone. I just went and did something else.
It happens. Maybe you'll come back to it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Probably not.
I don't know. I mean, it's quite good. It's got nothing to do with the work and all to do with the reader, because I'm a problem, as I think we've established previously. I am often the problem, except when StreamYard decides you don't get to be friends and just goes.
Oh
click.
Yeah.
No, we're not explaining that. It's more fun this way.
Yeah. So what are you going to do now? What would you like to play?
Another new one that I don't think you know, but I wanted to wait a few because it's harder to play, and I like, well, maybe if I get warmed up, maybe I'll manage it after I like spoonerized a couple of my favorite lines for the first song that I played. I like turned them around like, oh god damn it. Those were the good lines. The rest of the song, yeah, but those are the good lines. So I'll just send you a copy of it at some point so you can at least see what I meant, because it didn't, work out the way we wanted it to. So I'm going to. There we go. There's my guitar. Are you hitting button? Am I hitting button?
I am.
Yeah, you are hitting button. There you are. There I am. Oh no. Okay. Here's another song. I'd like to commend you for having the friends you do. You're really so lucky to have us, and we know it too. Oh yes, we do. Isn't it so good to hear it straight you've made have all turned out great. Oh, I can't wait. You're only up there for a minute, then you're gone. No matter what you do, there's no way to hold on. You scrape and you grab, but still it's I think I speak for the entire crowd. We've watched and we've waited to hear it all aloud. Long but never count. Only the ones who know best would speak to every concern, no matter how small or weak. Oh, it could be bleak. You're only up there for a minute, then you're gone. No matter what you do, there's no way to hold on. You scrape and you grab, but still it's look at what you've put together. No one could ask for more. If they did, it'd be surprising. For sure. I'd like to be first to repeat this one. So push back your hair and prepare to shine and stun. You're very nearly done. You're only up there for a minute, then you're gone. No matter what you do, there's no way to hold on. You scrape and you grab, but still it's gone. Thank you.
What is starting to be called colloquially at our open mic the Rowan ending. Just ooh.
Yeah. Well, the Rowan ending is the Dougie ending is that no, is no, no. Oh, I like this part too. I'm glad it didn't stop. You know, like it's good.
Yeah.
It just like got Ellingtoned a couple of times. You know, those fake endings.
And you got you worked in a half step modulation too.
Yeah, I guess I did. Yeah, the key change for the bridge. I find my key changes are normally to my ear very lumpy. Like 1, 2, 3, other key. You know, so I just wanted it to be a little smoother. Not a lot, just a little.
That's nice. I never do modulations. I need to challenge myself.
Well, I mean yours, but yours I feel like some of your songs don't even necessarily live in a key. Like they'll kind of shift around.
Well, they're very modal. It's like, you know,
mm-hmm.
I don't use major and minor thirds a lot, you know, with a lot of the chord voicings I use. So yeah, it gives this like sort of floaty sort of feel. But yeah.
So what are you floating us with next?
Oh, this one actually does have the minor. It's called the Litany.
I don't know what to believe.
It's the exception that proves the rule.
Rowan Corbett.
Oh, there we go. brave. That's my northern star. It's what guides me and tears me apart. Wraps around me, keeps my brain in check, walks beside me to my very last breath. What's the matter? Thought that you keep up such potential, but it ain't enough. Didn't notice when it all went down. Didn't feel it. Didn't make a sound. Don't belong here. Just a shade. Pretended all this time. Didn't earn this place. All that was inside. Hollowed out and lost. Peeling back now. Crumbling, it breaks and falls. It falls.
Rowan Corbett ending. Very nicely done, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. Yeah, I have this thing about endings, actually. Like, for a long time, I was like, fade outs are lazy. I didn't like them. I had a real thing against fade outs for a long time.
And what changed you?
There's some podcast or something I was listening to, and they were talking about it, and I was like, okay, I softened my stance. But, it was like, I feel like there can be an art to ending a song,
Yeah.
But the idea that, with the fade out, it's like you can sort of in your mind let the song sort of go on forever. It always exists, and you're just stepping away from it,
I kind of like it that way. When you put it
Yeah,
that way, that's
it was kind of interesting idea. So I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, it's like, sort of keep the party going internally.
It's funny what your hook can be into being okay with something. Like I had a run up to I want to say my early to mid 30s where I was as anti-sports a person as you could be. Just
Oh, really?
yeah, I hated them. Just hated. Just thought it was boring and stupid, and I didn't want anything to do with it. And blah blah blah. And then I kind of one night in 2009, I think, I could actually find out because I could find the actual date. My wife, my long-suffering wife, Joylene, has been a lifelong sports fan, but just like she seriously used to bribe me with homemade food to get me to watch, to get me to countenance having the Super Bowl on. I wanted nothing to do with it. And then the year that like I had heard about the Red Sox and the Yankees were like having this epic, they were playing in the playoffs. And this is before it got really impossible to just stomach, because even she, as a lifelong Yankees fan, is tired of hearing about it. But at the time they were playing in the playoffs, so I'm like, yeah, we could flip it on. And it turned out to be this like epic 6-hour game that we got sucked into, and we watched the whole thing. And I'm like, there might be something to this baseball thing. And then I started getting interested in it, and then I started finding like there was this whole communities online of stat heads and non-douchebags, basically, who were really into it and had great stories and were hilarious people and really bright and really interesting. And I actually made some friends off of there who I still know now,
Nice.
and I got to know some people, and I got into it. And then 2018 happened, and a combination of losing my dad and the Orioles being the worst team statistically in the history of baseball, just kind of, you know how you love something on a Tuesday and then that Wednesday you're like, well, that's gone, isn't it? And it's just never come back. So, but I had a good run. I had a good long run of like 12. And in the beginning, I was basically a 10-year-old with a credit card. Like and this is before we had kids, so we had season tickets. And we had XM radio, so we could listen to the morning show every morning. Yeah, and I'm sure I was insufferable. And now I have an Orioles hat, and somebody would start talking to me. I was like, I'm sorry, I don't follow it anymore. I'm just from Baltimore, and I like the hat. Like I just don't have any. It's like, I'm sorry, I don't have any information for you. Like,
for a while, I had a credit card with that was a black background and a gold fleur-de-lis.
mm-hmm.
And like guys would just, like I would be somewhere, like at a restaurant or something, and I'm paying for my food, and the guy would just start talking to me about football, and I'm like, what? I don't what? And he's like, and it wasn't until much later I realized that like they thought I was a Saints fan. And I'm like, oh,
that's
okay.
funny. Yeah, I mean, it was a great bonding thing. Like, I really did I made some actual, like, lifelong friends out of it. And there are times when I am sorry that I don't care about it anymore, because it used to, like, it would help me get through the winter, having this thing to look forward to. And I genuinely loved it. We had a year pre-kids. We had that wonderful, remember that wonderful dink time before you have children? We had this, dual income, no kids. We had this, I didn't make up the term, but we had this beautiful time where we were both making a good living, and we hadn't had kids yet. We went on vacations. We had season tickets to the Orioles. We went on day trips just because the money was there, and it always would be. Ha! Yeah. But yeah, there was that run there, and it was really nice. It was nice to have a thing. I remember Joylene saying, "Do we get to watch sports now?" And I'm like, "Sure, let's try it." And I had fun, Like my back when we lived in Baltimore, when the year that I happened to start paying attention to football for some reason was the year the Ravens won. So that was exciting. And then I'm like, okay, well, let's watch next year. We put it on, and the first game was boring. I'm like, nah, I'm set. We'll just wait for baseball. And there are times I really do wish I cared about it. And we have a great minor league stadium in Erie that I do love. Well, I did love taking the children to, and before times I'm not comfortable with that yet. But
right.
That's a completely different discussion. Yeah, we had the 11-year-old and I both had the family went to get groceries. Sorry for the noise. The family and I went to get groceries today, and the 11-year-old and I both kind of started to freak out about how many people were there and how few of them had masks on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, he's like, Dad, I'm not so good with this. I'm like, yeah, kid, fuck this. Let's get out of here.
Yeah.
I like, don't tell your mother, but yes. Hopefully she doesn't watch the internet. It's okay. But yeah. It was not.
Yeah.
It was not cool. And again, this is a smaller area, lower person density. But we went out for a thing yesterday. They did this thing called 814 Day, which was they used to celebrate Erie every year, but they couldn't do it because giant scrum of people. So they did something really cool. It's at multiple parks around the city. There's some beautiful parks, a couple of which I never even knew they existed. And the 9-year-old and I bopped around to like 3 or 4 of them, and the main one was a little too crowded. So I'm like, no, buddy, we got to go. He's like, why? I want to go dance. I'm like, COVID. He's like, oh, okay. So we had to, and that's a great feeling if you can crush your child's dreams, if you can manage that on a Saturday, I feel like you're doing the good work. So welcome to the Sunday Bummer Hour live stream.
All right. How are you going to crush our hopes and dreams now, Chris?
Oh. There's so many options. I mean, let me count the ways. But I think I had that one. It's funny. I had actually pulled up a different one, and I'm like, I'll go for something more upbeat and depressing. But no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do this instead. Are you hitting buttons? Am I hitting buttons?
I got it.
There I am. Ew. Sorry. Nope. Yep. Anyone could come up with a goal, do the work to make it clear, craft a plan with incremental moves and such to last throughout the year. Show initiative and nerve, blaze a path for all to see. With intellect and moxie and such style, what a wonder they would be. But see, we've already gone on too long. No one wants to hear this song. We're local failures, we know how to do it wrong. See, it takes a different sort of mind to forge a losing road, one untroubled by successes and achievements or examples someone showed. Standing to the side while others go about their lives and make their way, baffled by the compromise and necessary steps to make it pay. But hey, maybe the idea was strong, but if you listen this long, we're local failures, we know how to do it wrong. All your friends will tell you you're only wasting time, you can't get back. All your friends are right, don't let it stop you. Don't let it stop you. So maybe if this hits too close to home and you can't imagine how to continue on with effort that seems futile and misguided even now, no matter how far you may have gone to be the hammer and the nail, there's always time to crash and burn. It's never too late to fail. Let's fail and let this be a hope swan song, 'cause really you've known all along we're local failures. We know how to do it wrong. We know how to do it wrong. We know how to do it wrong. See, told you. Thank you.
So, yeah, I know we've been talking over the last year and a half about music and stuff a lot, and you've been egging me on to do my own recording.
Yes.
And I know you're just getting started, but I know your new band is named after that song, Local
True.
Failures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, are we looking towards a Local Failures album sometime?
Yeah, I think the plan, I may have mentioned winter once or twice in reference to Erie, because there is a lot of winter in Erie. And we have our first show booked on September 10th at Arts and Drafts at the brewery. You've got plenty of time to get here, Rowan. I'm just saying. All the time in the world. But we're talking to some friends about maybe doing a couple other shows and working up some stuff and being a little less rushed. And then once the weather turns, as it invariably always does, even though people pretend it won't, because I think you have to believe that, kind of like you have to believe when your child is very, very small that they will sleep for longer than 45 minutes at a time, because otherwise you'll go completely insane. Like, this is the time. This is when they're going to do it. Oh, no, not this time either. Sure. So I think once the weather turns, we're talking about woodshedding and making either an EP or a record. Cool. Yeah.
And that first show is September 10th, you said?
Yep.
10th. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I might be working, so I'm not sure. We'll
no, how could you? I mean, it is a Friday, so
it
could be a rough turnaround for you.
Yeah. All right.
So what are you feeling? Yeah.
I'm I'm gonna stick on the new song track for a moment.
I like that.
This one's called Serious. It's a song. Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Something funky's going on.
Are you going
there.
for more of a distorted sound now?
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Ooh.
Buzz, buzz, buzz.
That's a little better.
Yes.
All right.
It's not.
This
You're
one.
not the person I want there. You're the person I want there. It's much better.
Yeah, this is called Serious. It's sort of my tribute to the life and times of David Bowie. You knew, but of course you did. When I got this far with the life you led, always, always on trend, ever the shooting star, always one step ahead. Headed straight for the dark star, too fast for us. All the wonders before you, all made of dust. Some sleight of hand, you soar above the crowd. Great hour next to sea. Follow, follow your gaze as we gasp aloud. You will make this last decree. Every star in the sky, distant fire, every light a shining eye. Headed straight for the dark star, too fast for us. All the wonders before you, all made of dust. You slipped away. Well, of course you did. Can only go so far. The sins, the day. One step ahead, like you always are. You light the way. Headed straight for the dog star. Too fast for us. All the wonders before you, all made of dust. Headed straight for the dog star. Far too fast for us. All the wonders before you, all made of dust.
Yeah, Rowan Corbett.
Thanks, man.
Sure.
Thank you.
Sorry. I got all confused because
all
we
good.
got a comment.
Oh,
And
Chris
that's-
Otto's out there.
yeah.
Hey, man. So another fabulous singer-songwriter who's
Another Chris.
yeah, and another Chris, another fabulous Chris.
Another fabulous. But that presupposes that there was a first fabulous Chris. So this is where it falls apart, I'm afraid. But thanks for tuning in, Chris. Appreciate it. You'd think you would, well, I didn't make the meeting this week, the Chris meeting, so maybe it's an international consortium of guys named Chris.
No, I've got a good track record with guys named Chris.
Oh, that's
There's
good to hear.
There was a guy named Chris Sereno that I worked with for a while. Solid guy. Much like
that's
the
good to
Chris
hear.
before me.
You are too kind.
Mm.
Are you my first Rowan? You might be my first Rowan.
Well, of course, because you never forget your first Rowan.
It's so true. So true. And it's funny. We talked for a minute beforehand, but not for very long, literally, because, StreamYard decided to tell me to go screw myself. It's like, you don't get to do more than one thing on StreamYard ever. What are you doing? But I was wondering if you could see it. You can't. But I managed to crack a tooth on a peach pit.
Oh no!
Literally, yeah. I'm fine. It's going to sound grislier than it is, but I have a dead tooth, so it doesn't hurt. I just have like a little tiny crack. No, I mean I've like had the root canal and all that. And actually, root canals are fine if you haven't had them. It's them jabbing the world. Then the world's largest square needle being jammed into your skull, or maybe it was just me, but I don't recommend that particular part of it.
Yeah.
The nap afterwards was nice though, but yeah.
Well, I had a root canal and and this was not very long ago. A root canal and a wisdom tooth extraction, in quick succession. So, yeah, that was fun.
Well, that's exciting. It doesn't sound enjoyable.
No, and mine
no.
and the wisdom tooth was buried in the bone.
Oh,
So,
no.
but it was impacted. So it was like there was a lot in there, and the doctor's like, so there is a non-zero chance that you might lose feeling in this side of your face. Just saying. It's like, oh,
Just
good to know.
oh, that's good.
Luckily, that did not happen.
Look, get all your talking out of the way beforehand, just in case. Yeah, I had mine. Mine is it's actually that tooth right there.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and they're like, yeah, that tooth's dead. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, it's a little discolored. My kids call it my gold tooth. But you don't have to make it so obvious. I mean, I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. It's not discolored at all. But they're like, yeah, you got a dead tooth. I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, yeah, that tooth is dead. And they like put a cold thing. See this cold thing? They put it on one. I'm like, notice how you don't feel on that one? Yeah, that's because it's dead. you must have hit it or something. I'm like, I don't think so. Like sometime in your life, you must have hit it and something happened. And they, did the thing. And I'm like telling Joylene, I'm like, so is this when I get my gold tooth? She's like, probably not. Probably not the best call. Yeah. And she's probably right. Wait till
Probably
my 50th birthday. So, did you want me to play another song?
Yeah. Give me another.
Okay.
Give me another.
I have to. If there's anything in particular you want to hear, let me know. Otherwise, I'll just go with the one that's in front of me.
What's in front of you?
End of the day.
End of the day. Do you think you'll have time to sneak Driveway in there at some point?
Of course. Or I can play that now if you'd rather.
No, just as long as you get it in,
Okay.
Before-
I'm feeling good about that one before we call it a day. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm enjoying that one right now with the band. It's funny.
Nice.
I sent it. It only means something to you, me, and them, and they're not watching. But like the beat to that, it was like that was the moment. I'm like, oh, this is gonna work. Okay, because I did not think that song was going to work. Although Local Failures is a whole step higher, and it's like a power pop song now. Yeah, it is, and I'm like, cool. I played it for Joylene. She's like, oh, I know that guitar. I know that sound. I know that playing. I know that. But here is a song that is not that. So you'll just have to wait on that one. Although, here's to you, whoever happens to be out there. Welcome to the happy hour. Hope it's a happy one for you. I don't have any good toasts or like drinking things because I started drinking very late in life. Like late in life, like I'm 75. But I don't have any. Like people have these great stories or all these things that they like, yeah, we built this and it's, part of a thing over here and we say this, we do this. I'm like, I don't know. I moved to Erie, it's cold. I started drinking.
Yeah, I
got nothing.
Yeah, got nothing either. All right.
I would
Chris Ehrich,
think
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh. Okay. I'm just gonna play a song now. Don't look at my tooth. Don't look at my teeth. Don't look at my teeth. That's it. The mustache helps too. Go on, take what you want. It's fine. Go on. What if it's yours? Is mine. The kind face only gets you so far either way. 'Cause at the end of the day, no one wants to see me that way. At the end of the day, no one wants to see me that way. Go on, talk a good game this time. Go on, convince yourself it's fine. When it's said and done, they're done and had their say. 'Cause at the end of the day, no one wants to see me that way. At the end of the day, no one wants to see me that way. Have another one on me. Go on, it's easy enough, you'll see. Sometime in the morning, you'll laugh the thing away. 'Cause at the end of the day, no one wants to see me. At the end of the day, no one needs to see me. At the end of the day, no one wants to see me that way. At the end of the day, no one wants to see me that way. Just be glad you got away. Just be glad you got away. Just be glad you got away. Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, man. Like I miss the honest mistakes because I have like memories of you guys doing that song. It's a very happy memories.
Oh, well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
It's a great song. So.
Oh, that's nice of you. I actually a line in it got referenced in the song For the Room. I was going to call it Too Old for the Room, but I figured that gave away the sting of the first verse.
Right.
So it actually gets referenced in there.
I love the idea of like calling it The Room. Did you work? I haven't listened to the lyrics as closely as I should yet. Have you worked? Did you work in like a Tommy Wiseau reference in there?
I am completely unaware of that. Like I'm aware that it happened, and I know they made a movie about it, and I know people are all about it, but I've never seen it, and I'm just calling it For the Room.
Yeah,
so
I've never seen it too. Okay, all right. I thought you were saying okay.
Yeah.
I thought you were saying it was calling it The Room. So.
Oh no.
For the Room. Okay.
Again, it doesn't make any sense because I don't know anything about it. It's like a weird dark-haired guy who yells. I don't know anything about it.
I know a little bit about it. I have to cop to the fact that I have not watched it, but
well,
it's
I for one am
fascinating.
deeply, deeply disappointed in you. No,
well,
you're
gonna have to get in
weird.
line.
I'm not actually disappointed in you. That is weird. The idea of, I don't know if he was trying to make a serious movie and he couldn't do it, or if he's one of the guys now who seem to try to make bad movies on purpose, which honestly they kind of irritate me. Like,
no, I think he was the latter, like trying, or the former, trying to make a serious movie.
Okay. See, those are more. At least that's more fun. Like to each their own. Whatever people like, they like. But for me, stuff like Sharknado and all that, let's see how shitty of a movie we can make. I'm like, I'm not interested in that. It just doesn't. It doesn't draw me in. It doesn't mean, I don't really.
Yeah.
This may seem strange coming from me, but I don't really do irony. Like I just like different things for very different reasons.
Yeah, you do sarcasm. You don't do irony.
Oh yes. I am. Sarcasm. I do. I do that, and I do it well. But like I like Jason Isbell, and I like Dio. I like Dio for very different reasons, and I like Earth, Wind, and Fire, or or Hamilton, or older show tunes, but not really Sound of Music, to be honest, if it makes you feel any better after your experience. Although oddly, I was in that show.
Really?
I don't think I've ever told you this.
No.
I played, I want to say the character's name was Franz, but I could be wrong. I was the butler.
Oh, yeah.
And it was long enough ago that I had hair, and they had to tie it, like I had long hair, and they tie it underneath to make it look short. And I had like 4 lines, and I kept getting laughs. And because it was just very arched eyebrow, it's like, they were like,
he is a funny character.
Yeah, but like they're like, so is the family here? And the line was just, yes, they are back. And I just went, yes, they're back. And it got a big, like a big laugh. And they're like, he's like, do it smaller. I'm like, I'm barely speaking. But I'd get these huge laughs, I guess, just off of my eyebrows. But, just.
I mean, like that moment, like, okay. Not a huge fan of the movie, just because like the acting is really weird, but the character Franz, and I can't remember his name. Is it Tommy? I don't know. The music producer guy, is very funny, and it's funny because they're so blasé and arch.
Mm-hmm.
It's anyway.
Yeah. It's weird. Well, I texted you my feelings on the lyricist, and I've had that. I have seriously felt that way for decades. That's not like an old man yelling at cloud thing. Like I was seriously in my 20s with Joy Lee, fucking Hammerstein, because he seriously. Now there's a little fudging on the time because I think he wrote a couple of things with, there were a couple of things that he may have written with Hammerstein before Hart passed, and Hart died young. He was 5'2", and he was like a closeted homosexual in a time where you didn't get to be gay, full stop, and a raging alcoholic, which isn't a surprise given. But I actually have a book where the author of the book met Hart when the author was a young man. Like his father was connected in theater, so he met him, and he's like, he talked a mile a minute, and he had all these stories, So of course he was like super over compensating for everything else. But yeah, like Hart was like he's one of the guys, like at his moments he'd be like, one of his quotes was, I think it's something like, I think I could have been great if I had tried. And he's to me he's the best lyricist there ever was. I mean, he's just he's just as heartbreaking and hilarious and sarcastic and morbid in a time where he was ahead of his time. His lyrics are so much, and I remember because the author met him. They met him when he was going to a Gilbert and Sullivan revival, and like, Mr. Hart, what are you doing here? And he's like, research. He's like, he knew the stuff, and it was but he's a really heartbreaking. And yes, I do own more than one biography on Lawrence Hart. Yes, I do, and I only own 2 books of lyrics. It's him, and I have one of Sondheim's book of lyrics. I haven't read it, but it looks neat. But I own it, so half credit. So it's on the shelf.
Half credit.
But so it's important that you had all of that information for whatever God knows what reason. So
I think I'm going to keep it on the chill side for this one.
I think that's a good plan.
This is one, like most of my songs, I really write them from, like a singer-songwriter standpoint, and they're meant to be played, with a guy and his guitar, me, but this song in particular, like, took on a completely different life, with the band, with Iliami. And I'm a little hesitant to play it without them, but I really like it as well. So I'm going to do it anyway. But it's like, I wish you could hear. Hey, Ron, how's it going?
And
man?
as an aside, we just got Mr. Ron Smith in. Hey, Ron.
Speaking of amazing lyricists.
Yeah, he checked in with me and wrote something really sweet about one of my songs. I'm like, thank you. Where are you? We miss you. Come back to the 5 and dime, Jimmy Dean. Because again, because I like to keep my references current. But yeah, he was somebody I found out about through the VOM.
The virtual open mic. We're on every Monday night, by the way.
7 to 9:30 Eastern. I think spots are still available for this.
That's correct. Check us out on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube.
On YouTube. So. On the book face, on the YouTube, on the Twitch.
Or go to Rob's Open Mic if you'd like to sign up even, So go Rob's Open Mics. Look that up on the Facing Book or the Googles.
Ooh, that's new. I like that one. It's a Facing Book.
And, so anyway.
Play us a song.
Made your choice. Can say that I agree. works for you don't work so well for me. Do me a favor. You think you can survive what you want long enough to make it worth it in the end. Fucked up long before I met you. It's a credit to your kindness, you tolerate me the way you do. You only ever hurt me because you tell the truth. You've got no time for pretense, and you don't suffer fools. Always been willing to go where I can't. I think it's 'cause you're braver than me. To some extent, this feels different, like the ice is finally cracked. But I'm the one who's sinking, and there's no coming back. You're right. You're just as charmed as you think. 'Cause I want you to fly, not topple over the break.
forgot about the adult language words. Yay.
Yeah. I don't curse in my songs that often, but I was like, I'm gonna do it.
Sometimes only fuck will do.
Yep, it's true.
Yep, it's true. I'm like, why do I feel funny? And I'm like an hour and a half late on allergy meds, so I'm like,
oh no.
So I should probably play my last song while I can still get noises out. This has been the Sunday Happy Hour live stream. Those who were able to stop by, thanks. Specifically, we saw Chris Otto and we saw Ron. It's always nice.
Hey, Ron. Hey, Chris. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yeah.
So what you going to go out on, man?
Well, I believe I had a request for Driveway.
Yes. But if you have anything in particular that you want to do.
Well, I had one that has shit in it, but I briefly thought about that. I was like, ooh, he said language for it. I can do one. But I still really like this song. So it was weird to play it in daylight around people a few times. You know, it's like, this is weird. I didn't know this was ever going to happen again. Like, okay, this was written when a bunch of my friends on virtual open mics and whatnot seemed to all be writing. It seemed like there was just this stream of angry invective, political songs talking about, rightfully so, but I was
like, in 2020 and
yeah, I don't know why. I feel like something happened. I couldn't tell you why. It's really funny. I was in the living room and I didn't say it, but I'm talking to Joylene. She's sitting on the couch and I'm standing up so I can kind of see over the couch on like a shelf. Like there's a fireplace and there's some stuff over there, and the thing on the top is Farmer's Almanac 2020. And it's like, if I didn't what happens? Like, if you open that now, does it just like, honey, the book's dripping blood. I think this is a problem.
Yeah.
I love
see that
Rod's,
coming, did you? Poor Richard.
I like that Rod's comment comes up. Loving your conversation as I'm talking about a book pouring blood. I'm looking over at it. I'm like, where the fuck were you? Come on.
Like a little heads up.
You get all this other shit right somehow for hundreds of years or whatever, however long, but you couldn't give us that? But I saw that and that made me laugh. But yeah, but there was a lot of, and hell, your bandmate wrote a couple of really good ones.
He did indeed.
But it's not how I work. So I wrote a song about missing a friend who was also in attendance when you got it, Ron. I was also in attendance the evening that inspired the Too Old for the Room song. This same person was in attendance for that, which always makes things fun. I was tempted to go back to that bar to play that song, but the downside is then I would have to go back to that bar.
Well, there's that.
There is that. Oh, and to you, sir.
To you.
Katink.
Slancheva.
See, you've got a thing. The closest I have is Pogue Mahone, but there's a whole.
Also in Gaelic.
Yes.
Also in Irish, so
Yeah, sure. I don't have any use for the music, but I'm a big fan of the poetry and the beer. I like the beer very much.
I think you just haven't heard the right Irish music. It's not
you haven't
a
been
lot of
drunk
people have
enough
this
while
sort of
hearing
like
the right.
feeling like, oh yeah, it's all like Irish eyes are smiling, and no. There's some cool stuff in there.
Actually, some of the stuff I've heard you play, honestly, your whole not to go too global on it, but your circle, you and Rob and Heather and Kristen when she came in. It's like people with my previous experience was in a lot of ways people who had other than mainstream interests, although a lot of our interests have kind of gone mainstream now, weren't necessarily like charismatic people. And I met you guys. I'm like, well, they like stuff I like, and I really like them. And then I started meeting other people who are like that. And it's like you find out, it's kind of like my intro to baseball was kind of like, all this great writing online. It's like baseball. It's not just for douchebags. It's like you can have, these other interests and still be, have some social skills and be clean and look nice.
Absolutely.
Like the people I knew were the ones who they were interested in other things, and for some reason they forgot to bathe. It's like it was nice to see. I'm not sure where I was going with that, but this is the downside of having a happy hour. Things come up. Sorry about that. Yeah, I remember.
No, you're good.
It's here's a weird memory, because why not keep it weird? You remember the party that Joylene and I came to at Rob's house when CJ was very small, and we got super lost coming. We didn't know Catonsville, and we got super lost coming to that. And these pictures have popped up of it, and we had no idea what we were doing. Just like that. We don't want this to die. He's on the books. Something could have happened. Like they're gonna know. Like what happened? I don't know. He just wandered off. He's 4 months old. They can't walk yet. Fuck. I don't. And I remember like at that party, I'm like, God, this seems like a good time. This seems enjoyable. But yeah, I saw pictures again of that. Some random picture popped up, and like Susan's in there, and I didn't realize I didn't realize I had met Susan before. But everything, like, CJ was under a year old, which means he didn't sleep, which means I can't remember anything.
Oh yeah. Like that first 6 months, of having a kid, it's like, it's amazing you remember anything at all.
I had a friend who put it perfectly before I even had kids. It's like, it's like the first 8 weeks goes by, and then just one day you come to in a Target. You're just like walking through, and you don't even realize what. Yeah.
Well,
detergent, sure.
Someone said that about weddings as well. It's like because everything is happening so fast. It's like it's going to be the best party you ever throw that you don't really remember that well.
Yeah, you barely attend. Yeah,
right. Because you're so focused on getting you're doing this other stuff, and it's like you're seeing people, and it's all very fast. And yeah, it's like that with kids too. But that because you're sleep deprived.
So bad. And it's weird because I remember feeling like so old when we had him. There's a whole thing. Oh, right. There's a show on Peacock. Here's a sidebar. There's a show on Peacock called Girls 5 Eva that's kind of a parody.
Yes. I've heard about it.
It's really funny. And the first 3 episodes are free. It's worth your time. And they have a whole thing about that one of the women in it who's now, they're all in their 40s now, and one of them is played by the singer Sarah Bareilles, and she and her husband have one kid, and they're talking about having another kid because there's a whole thing about a New York lonely boy. Like they have all these like little kids, like there's this whole montage of the kids dressed in different outfits and all this. And I mean, of course, Joylene and I, as only children, are watching this going, that seems pretty good. Like, playing Scrabble with the doorman and, knowing about good books when you're like 9. I'm like, that seems solid to me. But we're watching this, and they had this whole thing, and one of the people they referenced was like John Slattery, like having kids later in life, or Kyle MacLachlan. And John Slattery shows up later, and they have him talking, and it's very funny. But then I go and do the math, and he's like an older dad. He was younger than me when he had his kid. But I'm looking at that picture, and the pictures will pop up, and we look like babies. Terrified babies holding this thing, trying not to break it. Yeah. I don't know what the point of that was, but I've gone kind of far afield. Although, to be fair, I think last time we had our wide-reaching "what the hell are they talking about" conversation somewhere at the midpoint.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well, we like to switch it up.
You got to keep it interesting. And by the way, this is my current favorite thing is at home is vodka soda. Excuse me, with some frozen organic dark cherries in it.
Oh, nice.
So by the end, you get a nice dessert of like vodka soaked cherries.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I tend to do the Manhattan with a bunch of cherries in the bottom, but we ran out of time before I was gonna make a drink, between starting setup and then like going on stage, but I was like, I'll just grab this. And
I feel like some things popped up between our start. Yeah. So that's on me. Somehow my computer hates me. It's okay. It's not your fault. But my last song is one of my favorites that I wrote during the first lockdown, because let's be honest, we're probably headed towards this.
Here it comes. Yep.
A Delta-inspired lockdown. We saw it like when I was in the store like a week or two ago. You could see, how you can kind of feel a crowd moving a certain way. And I don't mean just moving like everybody walk over here, but you can feel like the tone change. Yep. Everything suddenly it started to look like it did in early days before, a little bit. Not like bad, not like people grabbing shit, but just people a little less patient. Like you can start to feel kind of the tension in the air. And I'm like, oh, I didn't miss that at all. Yeah. So there's that. So I guess I'll play my song now. That's what I'll do. So here's I shall hit button. Oh, no, you shall hit button.
I got you.
Ha-ha.
I got you.
Ha, 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 ha. I don't know where I'm going with that. Oh, wow. It's 7:15. I really do talk to you.
Chris Ehrich.
Thank you to my announcer and co-host, Rowan Corbett. Just remember, everybody. Just remember, it's a sure bet with Rowan Corbett. Come drink in my driveway where everyone can see. Come drink in my driveway, spend some time with me. I know can't be alone, not now. A little of you is worth it anyhow. Come drink in my driveway, we can't get too close. Come drink in my driveway, you can make the toast. I know have your busy life to live, but I'll take whatever you can give. Believe me when I say it's all I want. Ignore me when I start to crack. Whenever I say take it back. Believe me when I say. Believe me when I say. Come drink in my driveway. Anytime is good. Come drink in my driveway if you think you should. I know might not be a perfect day, but I can't think of a better way to say. Thank you, sir.
Chris Ehrich, ladies and gentlemen.
Who's going to hide it first? I did it. I hit a button. I hit another button. I hit buttons. As my 11-year-old tells me. Yeah, I like to hit buttons. It's like, yeah, I know, buddy.
Hit buttons or push buttons?
Yes. The answer is yes.
We've done it again. We've come to the end of yet another Sunday happy hour live stream.
How about it?
I know, right?
Yeah.
Good time was had by all, or at least by us.
Absolutely.
So
now, I definitely had a good time. You seem to have a good time. I don't know where I was going with those stories about going to a party at Rob's house. I really don't know. There will be time over the course of the week where I will sit and think, what the hell was I talking about bringing that up? Because I don't know. I don't know what I meant. But I don't usually know what I mean. God damn. Maybe if I listened when I spoke, but I don't usually. But if you want to listen to some great music, you can check out facebook.com/Rowan Corbett Music, and you can hear my wonderful co-hosts' solo music.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, this has been a lot of fun.
Do you guys have a page yet for the?
No,
for
I took some horrible pictures. I'm going to they're really bad. Really, really bad. Like just selfie pictures of the three of us, all of us happening to be in black t-shirts, because black t-shirts. Although they had bands that they like. Earlier, I had my Queen shirt on. If I'd stuck with that, we all would have been wearing the shirts of bands we listened to when we were 16. like bass player had Metallica, but seriously, like metal up your ass Metallica, like that, like the original, like the old one, and Brennan had his Rancid t-shirt on. I Queen. It's like that would have been, hey, I remember being 16 too. It turns out. So I understand you have plans tomorrow night. You host the virtual open mic.
The virtual open mic. I am co-hosting with Rob, and a good time shall be had by all. Will you be there tomorrow evening?
I am signed up. I do not know if Chris Otto and Ron Smith are signed up yet, but if they're not, they should if they can.
They are, because they're both great. I know Chris is still. I know he's still recuperating from his shoulder surgery, but he's been coming up with ways to perform. So
I thought that was really impressive. Oh, and by the way, thanks, Ron.
Thank you, Ron.
Always appreciate it, and we appreciate you. But I do hope, Ron, that you make it sometime soon. I know he's had some work stuff going on, but hopefully you can make it in, and hopefully you'll be able to fix whatever I have obviously broken in StreamYard for.
I think we're good now.
Yeah.
So.
So, any closing thoughts, Mr. Corbett?
Just be safe and be good to each other. There's all sorts of stuff going on right now. I just found out someone close to me had a breakthrough infection of COVID. Not physically close, but emotionally close. So, mask up, y'all, and be careful.
Yeah.
And take care of each other.
Yeah. And as an aside, just to kind of add on to that, mask up, be encouraging of others, and every time I see one of these, why don't you guys mask up, and these angry things, these angry screeds on social media, I get it, but never have I ever seen an adult person change their mind because another adult yelled at them in some fashion. There's just no benefit. It's like there were some folks next to us when we were getting food over the weekend. They were saying some pretty stupid shit, and I'm like, no, it's not going to change anything. That doesn't. They're just waiting. Like, come on. No, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to go be around better people, and it's going to work out. Yeah. Go fuck yourself.
Thank you,
God
Chris
bless
Otto,
you.
by the way.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in.
Thanks so much.
Again, be good to each other. And we will see you in the next month or so.
Yes. Bye.
Cheers.
Hasta luego.